The first time Karen Brewster's HOA police showed up at our door, I thought it was a joke. A golf cart pulled up to our driveway at 6 a.m. Two men in tactical vests and mirrored sunglasses stepping out like they just raided a meth lab. One of them held a pistol. The other clutched a clipboard. Welcome to my channel. Please subscribe if you want more Karen and HOA stories. Please listen to the whole story and give me a comment about your feelings. Mrs. Hayes, the gun wielder barked, "You're in violation of Rule 12B. No unauthorized vehicles on residential property." He nodded at my wife's old Jeep, which had a dent from her last deployment. Classified, obviously. Still visible on the bumper. My wife, Emily, didn't flinch. She was watering her roses in a tank top and cutoffs, her hair tied back in a messy bun. "This is our Jeep," she said, her voice calm, the kind of calm that made me think, oh right, she's still on active duty. "Tag says 2003 model," the HOA thug said, tapping his pistol. "Rule 12B explicitly states, no vehicles older than 15 years. Emily finished, her voice still soft. "But the Jeep's registered to me, not you. Unless you've got a warrant." The man hesitated. His partner, the clipboard guy, cleared his throat. "Madam President Brewster ordered this inspection. You're obstructing." "President?" Emily tilted her head. "Of what?" "Of the Hawthorne Oaks Association," the man snapped, "the governing body for this community. Now step aside." Emily lowered her hose. For a heartbeat, her posture shifted, subtle, but I recognized it. The way her shoulders squared, the faint tension in her jaw. The same look she'd had before taking out a machine gun nest in Afghanistan. "Listen," I cut in, stepping forward. "This is ridiculous. Our Jeep isn't hurting anyone." "Sir," the HOA guy said, "your wife is being insubordinate." Emily's laugh was light, almost amused. "Insubordinate?" She turned to me. "Honey, go call the real police." "No," the man said, lifting his gun. "You're seizing the Jeep. Now." Emily didn't move. She just stared at him, her eyes, steel gray, like I'd never seen them before. Locking onto his. "Put the gun down." The man scoffed. "Or what? You'll call your lawyer." She didn't answer. She moved. 1 second, she was watering roses. The next, she'd crossed the yard in 3 strides, her hand snapping up to his wrist. The pistol clattered to the grass. Before he could react, her other hand pinned his arm behind his back. "Rule 12B, she said, her voice icy, "doesn't mention weapons, but local law does." She nodded at the officer's vest, where HOA enforcement was stitched in glitter thread. "You're trespassing and brandishing. Care to explain that to the sheriff?" The man froze. His partner gaped, clutching his clipboard like a shield. Emily released him. "Now, leave, before I call the actual military." They fled. I stared at her, still processing. "Since when do you do that?" She shrugged, picking up her hose. "Since I joined Delta Force. Now, can someone tell me why Karen Brewster's sending her goons after a dent?" I groaned. "Karen? That's the Madam President lady? She's been nitpicking everyone for months. The Thompsons got fined for a non-approved mailbox. The Nguyen's had to repaint their garage door because Karen thought the green was too vibrant." Emily's grip tightened on the hose. "She's got a problem?" "A big one," I said. "But this was overkill." Emily paused. "No, it's a message. Someone's testing us." And then her phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. "Welcome to Hawthorne Oaks. Obey or regret it." The next morning, a letter arrived. $500 fine, I read aloud, holding up the HOA notice. "For unsafe vehicle storage." I gestured at the Jeep, still parked in our driveway. "They're charging us because Emily moved the damn hose?" Emily didn't look up from her laptop. "Read the..." I skimmed. "Rule 12C. No military-grade equipment permitted." I froze. "Wait. Since when's a Jeep military-grade?" "Since Karen decided it," Emily said flatly. She clicked her mouse. "She's escalating. The fine's not about the Jeep. It's about the gun yesterday. I frowned. So, what's the plan? There isn't one, she said, closing the laptop. Yet. But that night, I heard her whispering on the phone. Yes, Captain. The target's moving faster than expected. We'll need to preemptively secure the perimeter. I pretended to be asleep. 3 days later, Karen Brewster showed up herself. She was a woman in her 60s, wearing a pantsuit so crisp it could cut glass. Her hair was dyed jet black, and she carried a clipboard like a holy relic. Mr. Hayes, she said, stepping onto our porch. Your wife's actions were unacceptable. Emily answered the door, drying her hands on a towel. Welcome to our house. Care to explain the fine? Karen's eyes narrowed. That Jeep must go. Immediately. And your activities last week were legal, Emily interrupted. I'll remind you, I'm still on active duty. My vehicle's registered. Your HOA police weren't. Karen's smile didn't reach her eyes. We'll see how legal you are when I revoke your property rights. She turned to me. Your wife's behavior reflects poorly on this community. Hawthorne Oaks is about order. Order. Emily's voice stayed calm. You fined the Nguyen's for their garage color, the Thompsons for their mailbox. What's next? Arresting kids for playing too loudly? Karen's jaw tightened. This is a family neighborhood. You'll comply or leave. She left. Emily shut the door. Pack your bags. What? Karen's going nuclear. She'll find a way to evict us. We need leverage. How? I asked. Emily smirked. Remember the HOA's financial records I accidentally downloaded yesterday? I blinked. You hacked them? Reconnaissance, she said. Turns out Karen's been skimming funds. A loud bang interrupted her. Outside, our neighbor's sprinklers had suddenly erupted, drenching Karen's Mercedes parked across the street. Emily raised an eyebrow. Someone's eager to help. The next week, chaos erupted. Karen banned all unauthorized sprinkler usage. Then she fined the Nguyen's again for their misshapen rose bushes. The Thompson's son was suspended from the HOA-sponsored soccer team for excessive enthusiasm. Emily stayed quiet, but one evening she handed me a USB drive. If things go south, upload this to the local news. What's on it? Proof Karen's embezzling. And other stuff. I swallowed. Like what? She hesitated. Let's just say her HOA police aren't the only ones with guns. Then she vanished. I found her in the garage, repainting the Jeep's dent with a camouflage pattern. You're not going to confront her, are you? She didn't look up. Karen's testing limits. Yesterday she sent 2 guys with a gun. Next time it'll be worse. But what if you're wrong? Emily fixed me with that steel gray stare. I'm never wrong. That night I dreamed of explosions. The next morning, Karen's police returned. This time they wore body cameras. And they weren't alone. Mrs. Hayes, the lead officer said, you're under investigation for unlawful detainment of an HOA official. Emily crossed her arms. That's a civil matter. Where's the warrant? Not necessary, the officer said. Madam President Brewster authorized this search. He gestured at our house. Open the doors. Emily stepped forward. I said. A gunshot rang out. Everyone froze. Behind us, Karen stood on the neighbor's lawn, a pellet gun in her hand. That's what I call a warning shot, she said sweetly. Now, search the house. Emily's jaw tightened. You're violating federal law. Karen laughed. Darling, I'm violating your privacy. She nodded at the officers. Go. Look. Find anything military in there, and I'll have you both arrested. The officers moved toward the door. Emily didn't stop them, but as they entered, she whispered to me, tell the neighbors to accidentally leave their Wi-Fi on. Emily handed me her phone. Stay here. I'm not letting you go alone, I said. She kissed my forehead. Trust me. By midnight, she was at the warehouse. It was an abandoned auto shop on the edge of town, its windows boarded up. Inside, a flickering bulb revealed Karen, 2 HOA officers, and a tied-up figure on the floor. "Hello, Emily," Karen purred. "Recognize this man?" Emily stepped forward. The tied man was Mr. Patel, our elderly neighbor. "Let him go," Emily said. Karen laughed. "Only if you leave Hawthorne Oaks permanently." Emily didn't blink. "He's unarmed. You are not." Karen gestured at the officers who held guns. "Smart girl. Now your choice." Emily paused. "Why him?" "Mr. Patel reported your Wi-Fi hack. He's a traitor." Karen's smile turned cold. "But you're worse. A liar." Emily said nothing. "Choose," Karen snapped, "or I shoot him." Emily's eyes narrowed. "I'll walk. But first." "No deals," Karen hissed. Emily lunged. It happened fast. She kicked the nearest officer's knee. He crumpled. The second officer aimed, but Emily was already behind him, twisting his wrist until the gun clattered to the floor. Karen screamed. "Shoot her." The officer tried. Emily headbutted him. "Emily, no mercy?" I'd never seen her like this. She cuffed the officers with their own restraints. Karen lunged at Mr. Patel. Emily grabbed her, slamming her against a wall. "Where's the rest of your police?" "Dead to me," Karen spat. "They quit after the leak." Emily released her. "Then you're alone." Karen stumbled back. "You think this ends here? I'll ruin you." Emily smirked. "Already did." She nodded at Mr. Patel, who untied himself. "Call the cops. Tell them what you saw." Karen fled. We returned home at dawn. Emily collapsed on the couch. "She's not done. This was just a skirmish." "How do you know?" "Her goons weren't her best. She's saving her big move for last." "Like what?" She hesitated. "She's been hacking into the HOA's security system. Cameras, alarms, everything. If she takes control, she'll frame us for something big." "Like what?" Emily's phone buzzed. A new text. "You think you won? Wait till the fireworks." The next day, Karen's final plan began. At 3 p.m., the HOA's emergency sirens blared. "Intruder alert!" A robotic voice boomed. "All residents. Lock down. Intruder approaching." Emily froze. "She's faking a breach." We rushed outside. Every house's security system was flashing red. Karen stood on the neighbor's roof, a megaphone in hand. "The enemy is among you," she shouted. "She'll kill you all." Emily rolled her eyes. Classic Karen. But the crowd was panicking. Then the power went out. Darkness, sirens, and a gunshot. Emily grabbed my arm. "Stay close." We moved toward the noise. A thud, a groan. In the shadows, Mr. Thompson lay on the ground, bleeding. "Emily," he gasped. "The warehouse. Karen's got a bomb." "A bomb." "Placed it in the HOA office. It'll blow in 10 minutes. Emily's face went pale. "The kids' soccer trophies are there." She ran. I followed, but she was too fast. At the HOA office, the door was locked. Emily smashed the window. Inside, a ticking device sat on Karen's desk. She pulled out her phone. "Disable the security system," she whispered. "Now." I fumbled with the keyboard. Tick, tick, tick. Emily's eyes locked on the bomb's timer. 5 minutes left. The HOA officers searched our house for 2 hours. They found nothing. No military equipment. No hidden weapons. Just a dusty closet full of my old baseball trophies and Emily's collection of gardening magazines. "See," Karen said, watching from the porch. "You're a threat to this community." Emily didn't flinch. "Go ahead. Arrest us. The real criminals will still be here." Karen's smile vanished. "What's that supposed to mean?" Emily said nothing. But later, as the officers left, our neighbor Mr. Patel waved from his driveway. "Emily, you wanted us to leave Wi-Fi on." Emily nodded. By midnight, Karen's world imploded. It started with the sprinklers. Again. But this time, every house in Hawthorne Oaks erupted simultaneously, drenching Karen's Mercedes and her goons. Then the emails hit. Subject: Madam President's little secret. The HOA's email chain exploded with screenshots of Karen's bank accounts, her HOA Police payroll, paid in cash, and a spreadsheet titled Eviction Targets. Karen's face when she saw the first email was priceless. "This is a hoax," she screamed at the homeowners meeting the next day. Emily raised her hand. "The Wi-Fi hack wasn't mine. It was a community effort. Turns out, a lot of people here don't like being bullied." Karen's hands shook. "You're lying." Emily smiled. "Check your HOA financial records. The audit's been leaked too." Karen stormed out. The next morning, the local news called. "They want to interview you," I told Emily. She shook her head. "Karen's already filing lawsuits. We need to stay quiet." "But what about the evidence?" "It's public now. Let the lawyers fight." She paused. "But keep the USB drive safe." That night, Karen's retaliation came. Someone broke into our garage. The Jeep was gone. Emily found it abandoned at the edge of town. A note taped to the windshield. "This is just the beginning." "She's desperate," Emily said, examining the Jeep for tampering. "She'll try harder." "How?" I asked. Emily didn't answer. Days later, Karen's final move came. She called an emergency HOA meeting. "Your wife's actions have endangered this community," she declared, pacing in front of the crowd. "Tonight, I'm invoking Rule 77, emergency eviction. You have 48 hours to leave." Emily stood. "Rule 77 requires a majority vote." Karen smirked. "Already done. Everyone here supports me." A murmur rippled through the crowd. Then Mr. Thompson raised his hand. "Actually, Karen, I filed an objection. So did the Nguyen's. And Mrs. Lopez." Karen's face flushed. "Lies." Emily stepped forward. "The real vote tally is online. Anyone can see it." Karen's supporters began to shuffle. She lunged at Emily. "You're finished." Emily caught her wrist. "Karen, sit down." The crowd gasped. Karen yanked free. "I'll destroy you." That night, Emily got a new text. "Meet me at the old warehouse. Alone. Or your husband dies." Emily's hands shook as I typed. "Disable security system. What password?" I hissed. She glanced at Karen's desk. A sticky note read, "Password. Karen 2024. Try that." I punched in the code. The screen blinked. "Access granted." Emily lunged for the bomb. "Wait," I cried. "What if it?" Boom. The explosion ripped through the room. Emily tackled me to the floor. Glass rained. When the smoke cleared, the bomb was gone. "Disarmed?" Emily muttered, staring at the wires in her hands. "By a millimeter." But then her phone buzzed. Another text. "Nice try. Next target." The school. We reached the elementary school in 5 minutes. Karen was on the playground, surrounded by children. "No," Emily whispered. "She'd never." Karen held a remote. "Everyone freeze," she shouted. "One move, and the gas tanks go up." Parents rushed out, screaming. Emily stepped forward. "Let the kids go." Karen laughed. "You think I'm stupid? That bomb was a distraction. Now you walk to the center of the playground. Alone." Emily hesitated. "Aim higher," I muttered. She obeyed. Karen's eyes glinted. "Say goodbye to your precious neighborhood, Emily." She pressed a button. Nothing happened. "You disabled the bombs too?" Emily guessed. "No," Karen spat. "I wanted you here." Suddenly, sirens wailed. Police cars circled the school. "The real police?" I shouted. Karen's smile faded. "How?" Emily smirked. "Your emergency alerts were easy to hack. I called them an hour ago." Karen lunged at Emily, but a cop tackled her. "Arrest her," Emily called. "Possession of explosives. Threatening minors." Karen's last words were a scream. "You'll regret this." That night, the HOA voted Karen out. But at midnight, Emily received a new message. She's free on bail, and she knows your secret. The next morning, everything changed. Karen didn't come alone. She brought a video. "Emily Hayes," she hissed, playing it on our TV. Your little secrets are public now. The footage showed Emily in Afghanistan. Not in uniform, but in civilian clothes, handing a package to a stranger. Traitor, Karen spat. A spy. And you hid it. She yelled at me. Emily paled. That's not what it looks like. Karen grinned. The military's already investigating. You're done. She left. Emily stared at the screen. It was a mission. Classified. But Karen's twisting it. But why post it now? To ruin me, she said. She'll leak it everywhere. We raced to the HOA meeting. Karen played the video again. Gasps filled the room. Emily stood. That package? It was a bomb. I stopped it from exploding in a school. No proof. Karen snapped. Emily pulled out her phone. The general's number is here. He'll confirm. Karen smirked. Too late. The video's viral. Hawthorne Oaks doesn't trust spies. A vote was held. We lost. Eviction notices arrived the next day. Emily's last words that night were quiet. They think I'm a liar, but Karen's the real enemy. And she's not done. We had 48 hours to leave. Emily packed silently. I'll fight this, she said. The general will back me. But what if he doesn't? I asked. She didn't answer. At dawn, we drove to the general's office. He can't help, the secretary said. General Riggs is unavailable. Emily's face fell. Back home, my phone rang. Karen's number. Still think you're innocent? She sneered. The video's trending. Your heroism is a joke. Emily hung up. That night, I found her in the garage, staring at her old military gear. Why did you join the Delta Force? I asked. She hesitated. To protect people. Not this. The next morning, Karen showed up with a crew. Movers, she said. To clear your trash. Emily stood in the doorway. You're not touching our stuff. Karen smirked. The HOA authorized this. Move or I'll call the cops. Emily interrupted. They're already here. 2 officers arrived. Ma'am, one said to Karen. You're violating trespassing laws. What? Karen sputtered. Emily nodded at the officers. The general called. He did confirm my record. This is your last warning. Karen fled. The HOA reversed the eviction. But Karen wasn't done. She spread a new rumor. Emily had stolen military secrets. The community split. Some believed her. Others, like Mr. Patel, stood by us. Emily's phone buzzed constantly. Threats. Insults. Then one night a package arrived. Inside, a USB drive labeled Truth. Emily plugged it in. The video played again. But this time, the footage ended with Emily handing the package to a soldier, not a stranger. The general edited it, Emily realized. Karen's been hacking his emails. But why? She's framing everyone to cover her crimes, Emily said. The embezzlement, the bombs. It's all about control. We confronted Karen at the HOA office. Admit it, Emily said. You edited the video. Karen laughed. Prove it. Emily smirked. The real footage is on the drive. And I've sent copies to the FBI. Karen's smile faded. You wouldn't. I already did. The door burst open. FBI agents arrested Karen. The final twist came later. The general called. Emily, I'm sorry. Karen blackmailed me. She threatened to expose your real mission, the one no one knows about. Emily's eyes widened. What mission? The one you did alone. The general's words haunted Emily. The mission, she told me later, was to recover a stolen weapon. A real one. A bomb. No, something worse. And I failed. So Karen blackmailed you because you didn't finish the job? Emily nodded. She found out somehow. Threatened to expose me if I didn't let her take over Hawthorne Oaks. But why here? Karen's family was in the military too. Her brother died in a mission I was on. She blamed me. My heart sank. She's been seeking revenge all this time? Yes. The FBI cleared Emily, but the community still distrusted her. Then Karen's final confession arrived. In jail, she'd ranted, Emily Hayes is a liar. The weapon she failed to stop is here, in Hawthorne Oaks. Emily paled. She's right. The weapon's still out there. We spent weeks searching. One night, I found Emily in the garage, examining an old map. What's that? A clue. The weapon was camouflaged. She paused. As a garden statue. Where? The Thompsons' backyard. Karen moved it here after blackmailing the general. We raced there. The Thompsons were asleep. Emily crept inside. The statue, a stone owl, glowed faintly under a UV light. It's here, she whispered. Then the lights went out. Karen's voice echoed. Looking for this, Emily? She'd escaped jail. Why bring the weapon here? Emily demanded. To use it, Karen said, holding a remote. And watch you fail again. What does it do? I asked. Emily's voice was steady. It emits a frequency that disrupts electronics. Airplanes, power grids. It could cripple a city. Karen smirked. And you couldn't stop it. Emily lunged, but Karen fired the remote. The statue hummed. Stop it, I shouted. Emily tackled Karen. They struggled. The remote flew into the air. Emily caught it. Off. The hum stopped. Karen hissed. You'll never erase the truth. The police arrived. Karen was arrested again. The weapon was destroyed. The community apologized. But Emily stayed quiet. The general's still investigating my failure. If they court-martial me, we'll have to leave. The final chapter began that night. Package arrived. Inside, a letter from the general. Emily, your mission wasn't a failure. The weapon was never real. Karen fabricated it to frame you. Her brother's death? An accident. She's been delusional for years. Emily stared at me. She lied about everything. To make you doubt yourself, I said. The next morning, the HOA held a final vote. Emily stood. Karen's war was never about rules. It was about hurting someone she couldn't defeat. The crowd cheered. They voted to honor her. The celebration was chaotic. Neighbors brought cakes, flags, and handmade signs. Emily, hero of Hawthorne Oaks. Mr. Patel even baked a Jeep-shaped cookie. Emily stood on our porch, laughing. I never thought I'd be called a hero for arguing over sprinklers. I squeezed her hand. You're more than that. Karen's trial was next week. The FBI called her actions a delusional campaign of revenge, but she refused to apologize. You'll see. She'd spat at Emily through the jail window. Power always wins. Emily shook her head. No, community does. The HOA burned Rule 12B and 77. New rules were simple. Respect. Privacy. No guns. Emily kept her Jeep. The dent stayed a reminder. Months later, Karen's sentence came. 15 years. Emily visited her once. Why? Emily asked. Why target us? Karen glared. You're like me. Strong. But you let them win. Emily smiled. No, I let us win. The real victory came quietly. One evening, I found Emily in the garden, teaching our son to plant roses. He asks about your missions, I said. She paused. I tell him the truth. Some fights are messy, but you keep going. The last twist? A letter arrived from the general. Emily, your failure saved lives. The weapon was a fake Karen's fantasy. You stopped her without knowing. That's true courage. Emily cried that night. Years later, at our son's graduation, he'd say, Mom, how'd you beat Karen? Emily's answer never changed. By never backing down and trusting the people who matter. Epilogue. Hawthorne Oaks still has HOA rules, but now they're written on a whiteboard, editable, fair, and erased if needed. Karen's old office is a community garden. And Emily's Jeep? It's a legend. Moral lesson. Power thrives on fear. True strength grows from trust, and sometimes it wears gardening gloves.